Hi, my name is Adam Smith, and I've thought about doing YouTube for about 10 years now, so I guess it's finally time. Welcome to the very first episode of asmithvideo. Here is my story. First off, I want to tell you about my family. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Jasmine, and have two children, a 5-year-old girl named Colby and a 1-year-old boy named Nolan. My wife does so much, meaning that she stays at home with the kids. That's her full-time job and then some. If you or your spouse stays at home, then you know just how much work that is. So I am so grateful for all that Jasmine does, so I have the time to do all that I do. asmithblog.com is my blog. I also have a podcast, Live Life with Purpose, and now asmithvideo. I also run some other businesses, but without her, it just wouldn't be possible. Now, I haven't always done a good job at putting my family first. About 5 years ago, it was at its worst, meaning that I was really good at focusing on my work, but not my family. I could give every excuse as to why we went through that season, but I really don't like excuses. I just don't. I just keep trying to get better instead of giving excuses. I'm always working on my family life and my business because I want to do good in everything that I do. There's nothing wrong with that. We can all live a life with purpose. I really do think that people who build a business but let their family life suffer misses the point of living life with purpose and leading through their life, which is what my message is all about. So yeah, I want to be great in business, great with my family, great at living life as a whole. And by the way, the main goal I have for this year involves improving my health. That's just another area of life I want to be great in. This being said, I really do believe we can have it all because it all matters. And wherever our focus is in, those areas have a way of becoming better. Effort, focus, awareness, it's all important. So yeah, I'm always trying. You will never catch me not trying, because when I stop trying and giving it my all, I'll lose hope. And if you stop giving it your all, the same will happen to you. As far as work goes, I've been blogging for about 15 years now, but I began seriously focusing on blogging back in 2006. You probably haven't heard of me before, but if you have, it's from my blog. In 2008, I took up social media, and back then I pretty much only focused on Twitter because that's what I preferred, and I have to admit I still do. But over the years, I've realized that I can not only post where I prefer to, but I need to go where people are to keep the attention and gain more. And this is why YouTube is so relevant right now. It was relevant 10 years ago when I started thinking about it, but it's even more now. So here I am. I also spent 10 years from 2002 to 2012 in a previous career. 7 of those years were spent in a leadership role of sorts. Then in 2013, I decided that I wanted to help people in bigger and better ways. So I started my life coaching business. That's one of the businesses that I own. In 2014, I invested in a shoe company and a shoe store. I know that doesn't sound sexy, but people need shoes and people will always wear shoes. In business, I only like to invest in industries that everyone needs and uses on a regular basis because, to be honest, I hate unnecessary risk. There's not many things that I hate, but that's one of them. I think there's a smart way to risk and invest, and in tech, one of the industries that many of my friends are in, possible tech bubbles happen and they just aren't my cup of tea. I've seen too many people lose a lot of money. But if you're in tech, there is great reward in tech, and I'm not downing tech here. I get it. It's just not for me. So why did I choose to invest in shoes? Well, first, have you ever ordered shoes online? Before I got in the shoe industry, I did. And for me, maybe for you, they never fit. And then there's the hassle of shipping back and forth. That's something that cannot get better, become better, with more web presence. There's still a place for shoe stores and shoe companies. Around this idea, if you're thinking of starting a business yourself, you can go one of two directions. Go with something that is purely tech because the world is only going to internet, social media, artificial intelligence, all of those things in more ways to build businesses. Build them better, build them bigger. That's where we're going. But you can also go with something that social media and the internet cannot eventually outperform you in. This would include many areas of food. The automobile industry is included in that as well. Shoes. Think of those things where the internet cannot make business better, and that's also an alternative. One person that I follow in the tech industry, in the automobile industry, is Elon Musk. His story and how he's changing the automobile industry intrigues me. If I had to collaborate with anyone right now, it would be him. But second, I went into shoes even while I had a coaching business because I'm an entrepreneur. I know that's the way I'm wired. People identified that in me. Bosses have identified that into me. I paid more attention and I went that route. But for some reason, it wasn't enough for me to start a coaching business and call myself an entrepreneur. Maybe because there's tons of frauds out there who call themselves entrepreneurs but aren't. The same goes for life coaches. But I don't like calling myself a life coach. I'd rather call myself a people helper, but nobody has understood that branding, or else that's what I'd call myself. Again, the only reason I became a life coach is so I can help people live better lives, produce better work, and gain back more time. That's actually my mission statement. That's my mission in life. I'm into positively impacting as many people as I can while I'm here on earth, and it's what drives me to become better. As for my next business venture, I don't know what it'll be. I've always wanted to own my own restaurant, but I know from years of management experience that it's grueling work. So it'll take a lot of time for me to wrap my head around that idea. I've also thrown around the idea of collaborating with someone in the footwear industry or the automobile industry, but that'll be a few years before that happens as well. I tell you all of this because I want you to know my story and that I'm in the trenches with you. I work a lot just like you do, but I love what I do. Not all people can say that. There's a lot of people who can say that, but not everyone. I have bad days, I have good days, but even when the voice in my head tells me that I should quit, I keep giving every day my all. Of course, I can only speak from where I've been and where I am today, being a husband, being a dad, owning businesses. That's the stage of life I'm in, so that's where my perspective comes from. I chose those things. Sometimes it's chaotic, but again, I love what I do. But moving on from me and my story, and now looking at your life, you may not be in the stage I'm in currently, or maybe you're currently in something right now like this, it sounds like this, or maybe you've already been through it and you can remember this stage of life, or maybe my life sounds nothing like yours. But wherever you're at, our stories connect in one way or another. I can guarantee that. Probably face the same fears as you do, one of them being that I'm afraid of letting my family down and not spending enough time with my kids. Again, it can get chaotic. Things can get out of hand. Sometimes my schedule gets out of balance and I have to bring things back. Does this sound familiar? Maybe it does. If so, this is just one way that we're similar. But the question I want to ask you is, who are you? Like, really, who are you? What are you good at? What are you bad at? What do you need to do? What do you need to quit? What value are you providing others? What value do you need to provide to others? You know that deep down in your heart, but you're not making the time yet to do those things. Don't be shy. Don't worry if it sounds like you're bragging on yourself if you're doing great. Your story matters. Good, bad, all of it. Be proud of it. Own it, because you matter. Knowing who you are, knowing what you were made to do may be the most important adventure you embark on in your lifetime. Knowing how you're wired. For me, I don't need things or other people to tell me who I am, because I stopped striving for cool years ago and instead became myself. I just got so tired of trying to fit in, trying to be cool, I decided somewhere along the way that I was just going to do me. When I came to this point, it was liberating. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Trying to fit in is such a huge huge time waster. Again, you are you and not anyone else. I could say that a million times and people would still need to hear it because of the role that things like social media plays in society right now. I call these people posting perfection online, Instagram lives, because those are just glimpses into their life. And from the public eye, it looks perfect. But what people don't see are the scars and the hurts that they've encountered. Again, people are trying to be so different, and yet in so many cases, we're very much alike. Being in relationship and being in community communicates this fact: we all crave connection in one way or another. Anyway, wherever you are, whatever you do in life, you have control over how you see yourself. And if you're going through a lot of bad stuff right now, you don't have to allow your less than ideal current circumstances to be your dictator, to tell you who you are. You can instead use your current negative situations for your fuel to move ahead and into positivity. Imperfection in the past doesn't disqualify you from helping others, it makes you more qualified. What is an area that you've made it through and now have insight for others that could help them because of what you've already been through? On a side note, that's a business idea because you now have expertise in an area that others don't. If you're looking to start a business, then that's at least something to consider. You have so much to offer because you have a beautiful perspective formed by your unique experiences. So now I want to know, what's your story?